Are you my friend? Are we locked in? Then step this way.
Hey, what is up, guys, and welcome back to the Locked In with Drew and Wes podcast.
Yo, what's up?
The NFL season
Let's
is
go.
here.
It's here. It's
We're
here.
gonna talk about the first game. We're gonna talk about the Lions stuff that we've missed since we've been gone. But we have a lot to talk about. I'm very excited.
Yes.
Okay, well, first things first. Something very interesting that happened over the weekend was a new commercial for Applebee's.
Yes.
Welcome to Applebee's. Can I interest you in America's favorite boneless wings for just 50 cents each?
I'll have the 50-cent bone.
Cover your mouth. They could steal your order.
I'll have the 50-cent boneless wings.
I'll have the same.
Perfect. They'll never see it coming.
Little play calling going on.
Little no stealing your menu option with Dan Campbell. So what when you saw it first, what did you think of it?
I mean, it was funny, but I was also wondering why. I was like, they put the thing in front of your mouth so that you don't steal the menu option, but then they just said it normally, and then she also said, "I'll have the same." So didn't she not just steal? I don't know. Maybe they're part of the same team. I guess that's what it's going for. But I was like, "What the heck, bro?" I was like,
Right.
I don't know. It was goofy.
I thought it was pretty. I thought it was clever. It was cool.
Yeah.
The one thing I was talking to someone about it, I was like, "Oh, what do you think about it?" And they were like, "I kind of wish that they almost did like a fourth down thing with it, like almost like how we always go for fourth downs."
Oh yeah, that would definitely be a more iconic thing for Dan Campbell for sure.
Or like how he gambles for stuff. You could have been like, I don't know, just done something like that. I don't know what the fuck he would have done. Like off rip, like just thinking about it right now. But
yeah,
at the same time, I think what they did was cool. But also, Dan said at a recent presser that there's more versions of that commercial. There's like different types of commercials for Applebee's that he's in.
Okay.
So maybe there is something alluding to that as well. So
Right. Okay. We'll have to see what those new ones are when they come out.
But the acting chops of head coach looks pretty good.
Not bad.
Not bad. But on to some more serious things. The new and retained Detroit Lions, because remember, we didn't have a podcast for the cuts. We didn't have that posted. So with that being said, the practice squad had some bigger names on this practice squad. Allen Robinson, Tim Patrick, DPJ returns, James Mitchell returns, Shane Zylstra returns, Jamar Jefferson returns, Jake Fromm, which we only saw the last drive of the last preseason game of, he returns. And then,
I mean, we don't have a third guy, so they grabbed him after we cut Sudfeld, so that makes sense, you know.
And I think he's better than what Sudfeld did in one drive.
I think he's better than Sudfeld. I mean, it's not hard to be better than Sudfeld, it looked like, but
no.
You know.
Right.
It's a third string. So, how much are you really asking?
I think it also is like the emergency one, you know what I mean? Cause I think they have a third one suited up for emergencies in case Goff and Hendon go down. So he's just the surplus backup plan.
Okay.
And then lastly, defensive tackle Isaac Akuwu, I believe is how you say that. He had a good preseason and caught a lot of eyes, so hopefully he can make his way in the 53-man if something happens, or if he just shows out practice squad-wise.
Yep, we'll have to see.
But yeah, what do you think about Allen Robinson, Tim Patrick coming in, DPJ being retained? I know the wide receiver 3 is kind of up in the air right now, especially with Sunday right around the corner.
I think I want to see Tim Patrick take that wide receiver 3 spot. Allen Robinson is cool. The idea is great. He's big.
Mm-hmm.
But you haven't seen much in the past couple of years from Allen Robinson. And DPJ has improved it, but we all know that Tim Patrick is pretty dang good wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a bad injury. And he is older, but doesn't mean he can't come back on a good season though and have a good season again.
Right.
As a wide receiver 3, you don't need like the world from this guy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You need like 700 yards, maybe 4 or 5 touchdowns, like at the maximum from this guy. About what Josh Reynolds did. Josh Reynolds did a little more, but we expect to see a good chunk go to JMO, I would think.
Right. I mean, right now as it stands, I bet Khalif is technically wide receiver 3, but they've made it very clear that they want their wide receiver 3 to be a big body wide receiver, a physical wide receiver.
Yeah, they want an X. So like that's if you're looking at that and the guys that we have in that practice squad, I would try to work Tim Patrick in as best as I could to the lineup.
Right. I mean, the little bit I've seen of him, right? Because I haven't seen a lot, but the little bit of like stuff at training camp, he looks really big. I mean, he looks massive. Especially like, I think he did a thing like it went Khalif and then it went Tim Patrick. So it was like the size difference it made him look even bigger. But like he looks big. He looks thick. He looks like a guy who can really be that physical wide receiver.
Yeah.
And
that's what he's been. I mean, that's kind of what he's been. You know, just like they had. It's just the health, man. It's the health. It's tough, but that's why you got Allen Robinson, I guess.
Right.
He's like Tim Patrick number 2.
Right. I think if Tim Patrick works out, that's a great value add at wide receiver 3, and that's going to fit great. But I do also, like, Allen Robinson maybe isn't a bad cancellation prize, even though, like you said, and you're completely right, he has not looked like the Allen Robinson of old, even a little bit recently.
Yeah.
He was a big bummer from the Rams when he went.
Huge bummer from the Rams. People were drafting him in like fantasy, like
yeah,
he's going to be top wide receiver, top 30 wide receiver. You know, like he's not. He did not do that. Not even close.
I wonder if things are a little different. And Stafford is a great quarterback, and some people are going to argue he's better than Goff, and that's not an argument that I think is unreasonable at all, especially by arm talent. But at the same time, there's different styles of quarterback. Stafford likes to, similar to Aaron Rodgers, he finds his guy, and that's the guy that gets the ball a lot.
Yeah.
Goff, he spreads the ball around very nicely, kind of keeps everyone kind of fed, and I think Allen Robinson maybe could do a little bit better with that instead of a Stafford situation too.
Yeah, that's true.
But at the same time, I'm not expecting anything crazy from Allen Robinson. I don't think anyone should be expecting crazy things from people that are on the practice squad, even if you are a good team.
Yep.
But it's intriguing, guys, and hopefully at least one of DPJ, Tim Patrick, or Allen Robinson can find their way to be a contributor somewhat on this team for the wide receiver core that kind of needs it.
I mean, I don't know how DPJ would do it now, but we were kind of expecting I was expecting a increase in like his overall play and talent. Maybe not talent because there's only a certain level you can get with that, but like his overall play. I was hoping that he would solidify himself as that wide receiver 3 in preseason and training camp, whatever it may be. But he didn't seem to do that. He got released. Right. And then he managed to make it back in the practice squad for now. It's like, dude, he's like so young. It's like we're going for a Super Bowl, and you could be another part of this. You could be another cog in the system of the Super Bowl caliber team.
And that's the toughest thing is he's done it before, and he's a young wide receiver. It's not like he's someone like if Tim Patrick was doing that, it makes sense. Guy has 2 serious injuries. He might just not be the same guy anymore. But that's not what DPJ has been healthy. He started to fizzle out a little bit of the Cleveland system. We pick him up, not for a lot, but right now, if you told me, like, let's say he doesn't get retained to the practice squad, or he does get to the practice squad and that's all he ends up being, right? As much as I love Brad traded a 6th round pick for 7 catches last year. And that's not Brad probably he rolled the dice on a guy who fit the system, and I'm not at all criticizing Brad, but when you put that on the paper, you're not happy with how DPJ turned out in Detroit even a little bit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. With that being said, I like the James Mitchell return. I like
Yep.
Jamar Jefferson return, guy who got drafted the first class when Brad took over, and I think a guy who looked better and better. I mean, he's probably not gonna really see a lot of play, and hopefully maybe he can find somewhere else. But at least he's still on a team. That's more the thing I'm talking about. And
Yeah.
I think he looked good in preseason, to be fair too. So the depth at a very deep position is never a bad thing. But looking at the injuries, or I guess the injury list for Sunday, we're gonna talk about it more when it gets closer to Sunday because we're probably going to hear more Friday-ish, and that's when we kind of want to do another one. Right. So we'll probably get a better idea. But DJ Reader. Now, DJ Reader was kind of like the initial goal, I think, before the season was week 2 for Dan. And that was what they were thinking for him to come back. And with that being said, Dan said that he might be ready for week 1. So it's not a for sure thing, but when it's Wednesday and we're looking at Sunday, you feel really good about that.
Yeah, you do, but you got to take into consideration the fact that the Lions, we like to not play our players, especially when they're not healthy.
Right.
I don't know if they're gonna change any of the way they do that based on their situation and potential, needing a certain record, trying to get a bye in the playoffs or anything like that. I don't know if that switches up our game plan on playing players maybe who aren't 100%. Mm-hmm. But if it's not a for sure yes, then he will probably not play. If it's a for sure yes, then he will play. Like that's what it is. It's got to be like for sure, I think, for our guys to play like that.
Right. I will say he's strung together a couple full practices, I think. So he's getting closer to.
Oh, right.
Like
he's actually getting close.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's playing. So, he's moving. Nothing's hurting. We're doing good. Yeah.
Right. He would be he'd be huge to have week 1.
Dude.
And that would be a big deal with guys like both Kyron Williams and Blake Corum coming to town.
Yep. Or we just let Levi Onwuzurike eat.
Yeah. I'm super excited to see him. He's gonna, even if Reader's there, he's gonna definitely get in snaps. But
he'll get in snaps. He'll get in snaps on a tackle and edge. That's for sure.
Right.
He gotta play both, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. I think he's pretty versatile, and I think that I think he's probably a good power dynamic you could probably put too if you really like if he's playing so well that you gotta get him on the field. Maybe that's something like that when a Davenport needs a breather.
That's what I'm saying is like if he's playing like that good, let's see. So like, come on, bro, put him in. Let's see.
Right.
Let's play these guys that are feeling good and playing really good. Like
that's where. So Sunday is going to be very interesting, right? Because there's a lot of talk about JMO this offseason. A lot of talk about Levi Onwuzurike. Like, a lot of talk about the rookie cornerbacks, maybe. You know what I mean? So, like, with all this talk, we're going to see it on the field, and we're going to see if this was great way of, like, trying to put positivity into the media to strengthen the player or maybe even strengthen value, or if this is exactly what's been going on, and this guy has been looking amazing.
Right. We'll see. Maybe he'll squeeze out a sack against Stafford. We'll see.
Even or a couple of TFL or something like it's not
TFL, nice. A little, yep.
Maybe speaking of that, I did just trade for a Jameson Williams in our fantasy league, and so I'm buying the hype. So
buying hype. Who else is buying hype? Comment down below.
No, who's buying the hype? Yeah. Let us know down below because we actually would be very interested if you.
Which Lions player are you buying in hype on? Like for fantasy, we'll go with fantasy because that's some people can mess around with. So
right, and maybe down below if you want to share your fantasy team, or you can hit us up at my personal. That's what I have currently at the Instagram or anything like that. Twitter. Shoot us that. Maybe we'll show some teams rosters next episode or something like that. That'd be kind of cool. Break them down. Be like, what do we think about some viewers' rosters? That'd be kind of cool.
That would be fire, dude. That would be fire.
Share down below. I'll put it here, or you can look down in the links of the description. You can see that stuff. Mm-hmm. But with that being said, other injury report guys, Iffy and safety Lauren Strickland. He was probably a back end guy, the 53 that snuck in after really good preseason and a good training camp. Both guys have been hitting some limited practices. It's kind of unclear. Not a lot of talk about their availability either. So getting closer to Sunday, I think we're going to find out what exactly is going on there. And I mean, would it be the worst position to lose depth at? Probably not. You feel pretty good there, but...
Right. You do feel pretty good there, but you don't want to not have your guys there that are pretty good, especially if he playing. Like, you don't want to see him take any negative roadblocks. You know, you want to see him keep getting better and better. So hopefully he can get healthy soon.
Right, and maybe they play him, but they keep. I mean, he's quite the gadget guy, and maybe they kind of limit his snaps and something like that that happens too. I mean, but yeah, it'd be very interesting. I'm super excited for week 1. We're gonna break it down a little bit more next podcast episode, so look forward to that. But breaking down the 2 games that we have ahead of us, the Ravens and Chiefs and the Packers and Eagles. So first, starting with the Ravens and Chiefs, one powerhouse way to start the fucking season,
bro. Crazy way to start the season, bro. Absolutely electric game. Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, the speedsters on KC with Rashee Rice.
Yeah, and Worthy, and then he's still just. That's good. I think that's gonna be a really great game. I mean, hopefully the Thursday night curse does not continue. You know, the low scoring, the not very great games of.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that's because it's not in the middle of the season. It's week 1, and you're not playing other games. You're just practicing. You know.
Right. But with that being said, the spread. Well, the Chiefs are the favorites. First, we'll say that going into the game. The spread is 3 points, so they are 3-point favorites over the Ravens. Pretty close. So injuries wise, Hollywood Brown is going to be out. That is basically the biggest injury that I saw.
Football team.
Yeah, not a lot of injuries going on for the Ravens. Kind of lower guys in the depth chart type of things.
Yep.
With that being said, Rice and Worthy let's talk about fantasy wise. How do you feel about those guys with you seeing Hollywood out?
Rice looks crazy right now. Rice looks like the craziest wide receiver one you could pick up, bro. Like he's like you went like the 10th round of all these drafts, and I'm kind of like really like regretting not looking for him more often. You know,
right?
Like he's going so late, and they could take some snaps away from Kelsey and try to save that man for the postseason as well. Like they talked about that. You know, dude, I don't even know, dude. Like, Rashee Rice already had a good season as a rookie. And you got the best quarterback in the league, and you're the best wide receiver on the depth chart. So it's like, you're going to see, like, good things coming your way if you got Rashee Rice. That is a start player. There's not many guys I would be sitting, or not many guys I would be starting over Rashee Rice, that's for sure.
Right. I like Rice this week. I think Worthy's probably a wait and see type of thing.
Yeah. You can't really just play him week 1.
Maybe this also helps Kelsey. I mean, Kelsey's always going to be a great fantasy option. Always. He's usually tight end 1, was tight end 3 last year. But really breaking that down, he might. I mean, Hollywood maybe would have had a big play or two that kind of just shorten the field too, and just yards or receptions maybe that take away from Kelsey. So
That's what I'm
maybe,
saying. But also, like, Kelsey's 34 now, or 33, 34. He's getting up there.
yep,
So, seeing, like, for them last season, him getting injured in the season, they are probably looking to take steps for that not to happen and for him to make it to the postseason no matter, what goes on. I'm sure is what their plan is. But obviously, you want all players to go to the postseason, right? Your whole team healthy going to the postseason. That'd be amazing. Be great. But there's certain guys that you're definitely if we lose him, like, it's bad. Like,
right.
it's really bad for us if we lose this guy. So,
And more vulnerability too, kind of risk management probably too. I mean,
yeah.
because they're trying to three-peat, and if they can do that one, they're already a dynasty, but
Yeah.
and Patrick Mahomes is still early in his prime. He's got a lot of football to play. That Chiefs team is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be this is the biggest hurdle right now for AFC teams, and it's the biggest hurdle for teams
The
that are in
whole
the Super
entire
Bowl.
league.
Yeah,
Like, come on,
Yeah.
bro. They
yeah.
didn't need to get Xavier Worthy, bro. Pacheco didn't need to work out like that, bro.
We'll have
Like,
to
they
see about
need-
their cornerbacks with losing L'Jarius Sneed.
Yeah,
But-
that's true.
But also, I wonder how it's gonna be really cool to see with this game. How big of a deal? Derek is not in his prime anymore, and if he was in his prime, I think this Ravens team would be maybe even favorited in this game. To be honest with you,
Oh, yeah. Oh, my. Derrick Henry
That's
is flat
disgusting.
with Lamar Jackson.
yes.
Disgusting.
So like
Yeah.
I think that there's a serious. This game is gonna be very interesting. I think the best way this goes for the Ravens is it's really methodical, and they kind of time possession these Chiefs, kind of like similar to what we did week 1, and we don't let this be a shootout. Because if you go to a shootout with the Chiefs, you don't want to try to get in a shootout with Mahomes, dude. You really don't.
You don't.
I mean, Goff came out of it when he was with the Rams with a W, but you had to score 50 to do it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, this Ravens team is good, but I just don't think their game is scoring 50 points. And even with all the losses defensively this offseason, I don't think they're as strong. But I think they're still this is definitely gonna be a great game. And we're gonna really, dude, the Lamar Derek thing has been like a dream scenario for a lot of people to watch. And now I'm very intrigued.
Dude, I get that Derek is not in his prime. But Derek had over 1,100 yards last season. Derek had 13 touchdowns last season. Derek is Derek Henry.
Mm-hmm.
It don't really matter until the engine is completely out of juice. It's just, the engine just never stops. It's just, dude, he just keeps on trucking and he keeps on trucking, bro. It's just insane. He gets the most carries and all this crap, and he just gets 5 yards, and he gets 5 yards.
Oh,
He gets 5 yards, and before you know it, he's in your end zone. And I'm predicting week 1, anytime touchdown for Derrick Henry. That's for sure. I'm saying he's getting a touchdown against the Chiefs. I don't care about no Chris Jones. I don't care about no George Karlaftis, whoever crap.
Nick Bolton.
No. Nick Bolton's small. Nick Bolton like a small linebacker, bro. Nick Bolton is not even big like that.
Yeah. I
Derrick Henry touchdown.
think they're gonna want to get him a touchdown too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
His first
Yeah.
game, I think they want to. They know. You know what I mean? What's gonna really get the fans going too. I mean, obviously you're playing to win. You're not really playing like that, but when it's a new introduction type of thing, it's like if we're at the 1, right, and it's 1st and 10, 1 we do it anyways. But like,
Yeah. And now, second, we're going to do it always because of who we have now.
right. And Gus Edwards, I mean, fantasy-wise and his overall last year was very touchdown heavy because of that offense, and he also has got a lot of rushes too. But so now you're taking a step up probably. I mean, Well, no,
A
you're
stat?
definitely
You're taking a whole flight up, dude.
right.
Pure
And
rushing, Derrick Henry. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to get you those yards. It was guaranteed.
right.
It wasn't
I
like,
think
oh, can this running back make a move? He doesn't have to make a move. He runs straight, and it works. And it's like,
the grown man stiff arms that just throw people away.
oh my gosh.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
the read option is going to be nasty. Everything's going to be nasty about Lamar Derrick.
And you still got Mark. The team is very good. Zay
Still got
Flowers.
Zay.
Yeah.
Second year Zay, yup.
So I think this is gonna be very interesting, and I think it's gonna be a great way to start off the year. With
Yeah.
that being said, real quick, who do you think? I mean, we have the injury, the main injury on the paper, known. Sorry. Anyways, who do you think is going to win this season opener?
I think we'll see. Ooh. I want to say the Chiefs lose it again, but if the Chiefs lose it again, it's a reminisce of last season. And I don't want the Chiefs to lose it again. So I want the Chiefs to win, and then everybody hypes up the Chiefs, and then they take their downfall in the latter half of the season, and then it completely screws them over. Instead of
Right.
them shitting it in the beginning, and then just like, okay, we're figuring it out, and we win a Super Bowl. And it seems like we put in like I don't know. It just seems like it's effortless for them now, just to like, oh yeah, we're in the Super Bowl, we win. If they make it, they win.
Right. I think that there is probably going to be a fire under this Ravens squad because they were denied a year that they were Super Bowl favorites, I think, to a lot of people's eyes.
Yeah, they were.
Getting denied how, like, just horrible that offense looked in that AFC Championship game. I think there's going to be a big, like, motivation, like, John Harbaugh is going to be talking to guys. This is the team. There's a reason why you didn't win an NFL a Super Bowl championship. And you got denied by these guys. They went and they won it. So you're gonna let them walk all over us again? It's gonna be another AFC Championship game, or are we gonna set the tone? We're gonna beat these guys here. We're gonna beat these guys in the playoffs, and we're gonna take our shit and we're gonna get the Super Bowl.
Hey, Jim, you do your magic, Jim. Do it. Get Derek fired up. I would love to see it.
Right.
I'd love to see it. We gotta talk about the fantasy. That's for sure. We gotta talk about our teams.
Yeah, we definitely will. We'll just do the Packers and Eagles, and then what we can do that. That. All right, bet. Friday, and this game is the reason I kind of want to talk about this too is also because there's a little bit of controversy going on with this game. This game is being held in Brazil.
Yeah, I heard that players are like unhappy with like that.
Yeah, Darius Slay being the biggest name, former Lion, talking out about it. You can look at some of my, like the shorts on my pages when I kind of have that if you missed it, or you can just Google it. But anyways, he basically was saying, it's kind of not that fun for the players. One, a 10-hour flight to go to Brazil.
It's terrible.
Which is also probably going to be a little messy start to their year also.
Also, they got a 10-hour flight back after they get beat up, and then you got to sit on a plane for another 10 hours.
Yeah.
That's the worst part, is the after plane ride back home.
Right.
That's the bad part.
And then Brazil, don't want to insult anyone that maybe lives in Brazil at all, but the country maybe is not in the best states. The crime rate is probably it's getting to a concerning level for at least a lot of these players when they were talking about it. Darius Slay was talking about how the crime rate is really bad there, and that it's kind of a concern for a lot of the players. They are not really going to want to go explore in Brazil, or anything like that. Like, oh, we're in a different country. Like, let's go see this new country. They don't really have, he said he's going to sit. He's not going to have his family come to the game. He's going to sit in his hotel room. And then go to the game, hotel room, airport type of thing. Like, he's not messing around in Brazil and all this type of stuff. I mean, I'm sure there's other people and other players that maybe are thinking that, but he's the biggest name attached to it that's been saying
Right.
it.
Right.
Because before we talk about the game, what do you think about the game being held in Brazil? I think it's good for business for the NFL, right? But what do you think about it both ways, I guess?
I mean, it's good for business in the sense that you're reaching out to like a new market, but why are you having why is it the starting 2 games of the season?
Mm-hmm.
They're not in the U.S. Like, this is your fan base is here, and it's made it plenty big enough just being here. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't know. I just feel like if you're gonna do that, don't make it a starting game. Make it a game of the season. You know, just because you're gonna have one of the starting games in Brazil doesn't mean they're gonna continue to watch for the rest of the season. You know what I mean? Like, either you get them, either they're gonna watch it or they're not gonna watch it. Like,
Right.
they're not just gonna. Oh, they're gonna watch it for the whole season, and then this and that. Bro, if you get them to watch it, then it's fine, and they'll watch it from then on up, like from whenever you had the game, instead of like, the first 2 games and one of them gets to be in. What about the fans?
Mm-hmm.
What about the fans? The Packers fans, the Eagles fans. They can't. What are you gonna? I mean, you can go to the game, but that's insane.
Yeah, it's insane. No.
It's already insane for a Packers fan to go to a Philly game. To the game in Philly or whatever. Well, I don't know where it's at, but it's insane for them to travel that far, anyways, because that's pretty decently far, and a 10-hour plane ride to Brazil.
Yeah.
You need a passport. You need all this stuff, and then how much does the game cost? And the game costs another $900. Oh my gosh.
I think that obviously, the business appeal is definitely there for the NFL. New market. They've been doing it a lot recently with the last, they have the Germany game.
The London game, yes.
Yeah. So, it makes sense, but I also think that because, it is a business, right? So these guys are employees of the NFL. So putting your employees into a uncomfortable situation maybe exactly isn't the best idea. I feel like maybe there should have been a agreement or a thing with the NFLPA type of thing with the Players Association to maybe clear that up, and maybe either you could say, well, vast majority of the players agreed, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But at the same time, let's be real here. I don't want to call out the NFL because, I love the NFL. I love its product. But we're so busy thinking about how to expand this league for more fans, more money. And we're still playing on this turf that we got that is in MetLife. These turf fields.
We still got these turf fields out here.
It's not a great look in my opinion, dude.
Nothing changed.
And then you're doing how much do you care about the players as much as you say you do? Player safety has been a new thing, and they've been working harder and harder on it, right? For certain things, more the concussion thing. But
we went over this, bro. We went over this why
all last year.
Why do you have turf?
Yeah.
Mike. Anybody who drafted Mike Williams, by the way, you're chalked. It's terrible. That's the worst decision you could have made in your life. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, but it's just I don't know if the players are really a big part of this. I think there's a lot of greed, and you know what? With billionaires, of course, there's gonna be greed. But I think this is being run like a business, and that's fine to an extent. But you're putting your employees in a rough situation, and also, yes, they're getting paid millions of dollars, but they're playing on poor surfaces that they should not be playing on, and they're traveling to places that maybe they should not be going at. I mean, I know I made my post, and there was people in the comments talking about the state of Philadelphia itself right now, and the state of Detroit maybe or something like that it used to be. But I just don't know if that's comparable right now. I mean, there's also uncertainty because you're in a completely different country too, and they're gonna be all eyes are gonna be on them. They're the outsiders.
I'm
So I
sure the
don't
people
know.
that commented have not gone to Brazil.
Right, exactly too. I mean,
Like, bro, do you have any idea of what it's like, bro? Like,
hmm
I don't know.
I don't
It's
know.
just,
I get the skepticism by players. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
I get it for sure.
yeah,
And hopefully nothing happens, and hopefully this is just a maybe players are nervous about this stuff and security's taken, or they have great security and everything's gonna be fine. You know what I mean? It'd be horrible if something bad does happen. If something bad
yeah,
does happen, it's gonna be a horrible look from the NFL after all these players were saying it before the game happened, of being like, NFL, why are you sending us here? If something happens, it's gonna be a absolutely horrendous look. So,
yeah, yeah. That's
and also it's
true.
gonna be horrible for the players. But the NFL, they're trying to expand themselves, and that's great. But where else are we go? Are we going to North Korea for expansion?
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
you know what I'm saying though. Like it's not the same level at all. But what I'm saying is like are we not being mindful of where we're going? You know what I mean? I
Yep.
don't know. That might not be exactly fair, and I think that's probably not fair. What I just said. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's just the looking at the extreme of if they continue the path of not really being concerned of the location. But
Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean.
at the same time, I don't know. Hopefully everything goes great there, and maybe there can be more Brazil games, and overall maybe it can help out help Brazil out with money wise, and maybe that can also just help them rebuild stuff similar to how Detroit is kind of now too. So, but anyways, I guess looking to the game itself, besides all the controversy with the game, the Eagles are going to be without linebacker and newly acquired from the offseason linebacker Devin White. So N'Kobe Dean and rookie Jemiah Trotter will probably be getting a little bit more run. And then the Packers right now, as it stands, Tucker Kraft, the tight end, had a limited practice. Marshawn Lloyd had a limited practice, and Romeo Dobbs had a limited practice.
So
So
it's looking like Josh Jacobs City.
yes,
Yes, yes.
with AJ Dillon going down as well for the year. So, I mean, they might end up playing, but limited practice on a Wednesday. I mean, guy's young. Maybe they don't want to really give him too many carries. Even if he does play, maybe Josh still gets the big brunt. Even though the Packers usually do like to go 2 RB systems.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. You as a Josh Jacobs manager, I definitely can see you hoping for. You know what, Marshawn? Let's take this one easy. Let's take this one easy.
It's easy, Marshall. It's freaking easy.
He looks pretty good too, so I'm not gonna lie. He might be a guy who does take some snaps, but Josh is definitely gonna be all year long easy
He should be
RB1.
way more efficient this year, bro. He should is it's not even like how much workload he's gonna get. It should be like he's gonna run good. Like he's gonna run good. The offense is gonna run good. He's a great pass catcher out of the backfield. It's
Mm-hmm.
really good for Jordan Love and that young Packers team. Like, and he's not old either. So
No. And yeah, he came off a rough year last year, but last year's I think
like
they
the
were able to
worst
load the box.
with the worst O line in the league, and then
Right.
freaking Adrian O'Connell throwing you the ball.
Mm-hmm. And Jimmy
And,
Garoppolo. And it's
oh,
kind of
bro, it's so
like,
terrible. It's so terrible. Remember when we were like, oh, well, we got Jimmy. Let's see how this goes. We knew it was bad.
yeah. I think just that type of quarterback isn't great with the type that Devontae is. Devontae is a guy who can go and be a true deep threat. And then you have a guy, and also you didn't make him very happy because the reason he came to the Raiders was to play with Derek Carr, but that's a completely different story that everyone knows, and it doesn't make sense for us anyways. And also, if you want to rip the Raiders overall, they took Michael Mayer and then they took Brock Bowers this year. While they have one of the worst cornerback rooms right now. Like I'm not trying to rip, but it's just it doesn't make sense. But Josh Jacobs leaving that really raw situation, hopefully
Really
either
rough.
gets as a Devontae manager, either hopefully Money Minshew is great or they end up sending him somewhere where Devontae can give me some serious pull. But anyways, Josh Jacobs going from that really rough spot to a guy like Jordan Love who can really stretch the field with his arm, wide receivers that can really stretch the field vertically, I think is going to open up and not let linebackers and everyone just really load in the box. You're going to have to get wide, and when you're wide, he's going to get that ability to actually be able to make a move on someone instead of such early contact that you don't get to make a move. You have to fight through contact. That's not great.
Yep. I think he'll be very good this season.
In a high-powered offense, he's going to get goal line touches, especially with
And the
A.J.
goal line.
Dillon being out.
He's gonna get all the sweet goal line now.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet goal line gold. That's what I like to call it.
He's going to be great for fantasy. I was really high on him before, even though I didn't end up drafting him for the 2 leagues that we're in.
Wow, I did snipe you, but yes.
Yes, I did. I was looking into him, but at the same time, I didn't really want him for the price. But anyways, with that being said, yeah, this game is gonna be, I think, again, 2 teams that the Eagles a little uncertainty with, Kelsey retiring, stuff like that. Seeing this new offense, Barkley acquisition. I mean, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith still there. Jahan Dotson is now there.
Yeah, they're not like
C.J.
the best
Gardner-Johnson returning.
They're like the best receiving room in the league now, bro. Like
That's nasty.
that might be the best room, bro. Like, who's better than that?
I mean, everyone's gonna instantly go to Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, just because Jefferson is so great. The T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, maybe, but even then,
But there's no. But with 3, I'm talking about 3.
Right. I would
3 really good wide receivers.
What about? I mean, it's probably not, but Calvin Ridley, D Hop, Tyler Boyd. You know what I mean? That's
who.
Right. I mean, I think that's still.
That's good, but it's not like it's not A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
No.
Calvin Ridley is probably the closest bet there. D Hop's. He's got. I mean, there's always a cliff for everybody, right? And it's just like D Hop, and you're counting down the days. So
yeah,
it'd be great if he has another 1,000 yards this season because he's kind of great value. He was a great value in the drafts. So.
Mm-hmm. I will say, I know me and you talked about the Jahan Dotson move, and we were like, man, what are the Commanders doing? And I agree with it still, but I have been hearing some stuff about Luke McCaffrey, and maybe that is a guy that they've been really looking at. You know what I mean? Taking some serious work. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I'm definitely not as in deep with the as we are with the Lions, obviously. But I've been hearing some good stuff from Luke McCaffrey, and also just the role.
The only reason they're doing that is because the last name is McCaffrey, and it could just be like amazing.
Right. And it's like, I mean, he's got good genes. Got
really good genes.
Right. But I guess looking at this, so we can get to our fantasy teams after. I think I put it over here. The Eagles are the favorites.
Yeah.
It's a 2.5 spread, so it's even closer than the Chiefs and the Ravens.
Ah, great.
So what do you, if you had to make your prediction right now, who would be the team you think would win?
Boom, Packers, Eagles, probably the Eagles. I'd probably say the Eagles. You got Saquon now, which Josh Jacobs is great. Don't get me wrong, but like I feel like Saquon is still maybe a step ahead of him a little bit, maybe not. Mm-hmm. But the idea is kind of like that in your mind. And with the Eagles, the line is better than theirs. The Eagles wide receivers are better than theirs. The Eagles defense is better than theirs. Defense is better than theirs by huge margins, but it is better.
Right.
And that's like a lot of better things that you have in the other team. So you would think the Eagles would win, but
I think it is going to be really close, and I think the play of Jordan Love is going to be the biggest part of it. Is Jordan Love that guy from the second half of the year? Or if he's going to start out how he did kind of last year? If he starts out how he did last year, this is probably going to be easy, and that spread's probably going to be a little bit bigger. But being a guy who probably would believe more in Jordan Love. I think this game is gonna be pretty close. I'm probably gonna start out with a Packers win, and I think that it's gonna be a close one. And unfortunately, Saquon's start will not be exactly how he wants it to be. But I think that young squad is just gonna be a pretty.
You think
tough
they're going to
squad.
be fired up and ready to go with this Eagles team?
Oh yeah, and I think that they know what they got in this division. They know that they don't have a lot of games they can drop to try to win the division.
So if you beat a team like the Eagles, that just helps you so much.
Yep. So
Yeah.
I think that, and also starting the year off right. The way the season can start can really be the result of the season. I mean, obviously not. Oh, well, like if you lose your first game. But,
The Kansas City Chiefs, Drew. Keep saying that. Keep saying that.
but the Vikings, you know what I mean? Like they fell to 0-3, and yes, things got worse. Of course, Kirk, going down, but you were already in a hole to start. You know what I mean? Morale's not great when you start 0-3. When you have a tough start, it's not good.
Yeah,
Obviously.
and then Kirk got hurt.
He tore his fucking Achilles, and then
He got hurt, bro.
bro,
He tore his Achilles, bro.
Okay,
They were 0-4, and he tore his Achilles.
bro. Okay, so we're putting our Aaron Rodgers tinfoil hat on. Is that what we're doing?
We're putting the tinfoil hat on for Dave.
Oh fuck! Real quick, I want to say this just because I saw this before the podcast. So Michael Parsons, I don't know if he has a podcast. I don't know what he's got going on, but it was on with Bleacher Report, and I think maybe he's a creator for them, kind of. But anyways, he got asked to do predictions for divisions. Well, for the NFC North, who do you think he picked to be the NFC North?
The Lions.
He did not.
What did he pick?
He decided to pick the Packers. He said
He
that
did
the
pick
Packers win. I don't think that's unfair, as they are the second one. You know what I mean? So if you weren't to pick the Lions, it's not as egregious as being like the Vikings. If you pick the Vikings, I think he's maybe needs to get drug tested by the NFL.
He's then Brett. Yes.
Shout out to Brett from Fryer Podcast.
Yeah. If you go back to the podcast with Brett, when he's talking about the Vikings, he loves them boys.
His heart was probably pretty broken when JJ went down, huh?
His heart was ruined.
He was really high on JJ, and I think
My favorite player is not playing.
Yeah. I mean, he's a big Michigan guy, and I get it, but damn. All right, hopping into our fantasy football leagues. I'll put the pictures up by me looking at it as well, kind of breaking it down a little bit. We're going to start with Wes's squadron.
Yes.
With that being said, we're going to look at the first quarterback. You have Joe Burrow. I'm going to do this so I'm not looking straight.
I was able to just grab Joe Burrow because nobody else wanted Joe Burrow, and I was like, well, I might as well grab a good QB with this team that I have so far. So
I think a lot of people are kind of low on Joe.
People are low on Joe, and I'm like, Joe touchdown upside is great, so
yeah,
I'm taking.
Breece Hall. Breece Hall fell in our draft a lot further than I think.
We explain what the draft, explain what the league is, and then explain the Breece Hall fall, because I feel like it's an atrocity to society that Breece Hall fell that far, but that's
so
just
we
me.
have a 12-team PPR format, and we have a 2-keeper with our league. So 2 of your players you can keep for future rosters and everything like that for the next season. So with that being said, a little bit more young guys, maybe earlier guys like Marvin Harrison maybe went a little earlier in our draft. Maybe something like that. Gibbs maybe went a little earlier for some people.
Because guys like Puka, guys like Jefferson.
Yeah, just guys that you really want, because we're going to kind of treat it almost like a very long-term keeper for these type of things. So with that being said, Breece Hall is going to be a disgusting keeper for a very long time.
A very long time.
What pick were you? Sorry?
I was pick 5.
It went what? It went McCaffrey?
Bijan, right?
Yep. Bro and Bijan.
And then I think it went CD, and then it went St. Brown.
I think it went Saint CD. I think one guy was. We're
Was
full
Brandon
Lions fans
3?
too. Yeah, I think
Brandon's
Brandon was.
3.
Yep. So I think Saint went 3, CD
Hey,
went 4, and Breeze fell and lost his lap at 5.
on my lap. Hey, I said I wanted Jeff again. At least I said that's all I want, man. I want Jeff back. But if you can get Breeze Hall, get Breeze Hall. So I
Yeah.
went with Breeze Hall because I'm gonna have Breeze Hall for the next 12 years. So
And he looked. I mean, he was top for a lot of people. I think he's gonna have a really good year. And I think his ceiling is very high just because how talented he is.
ceiling is like disgustingly high. Yes.
With that being said, RB2 is Derrick Henry. We're just done talking about him.
That's why I'm predicting the touchdown. We get them fancy points.
Then wide receiver 1 because you decided to go 3 RBs.
Yes.
In this
I went
draft.
3 RB, and my flex is now Josh Jacobs. That's why I said I sniped him from Drew. Because I did snipe him from Drew as he was talking about wanting to draft Josh Jacobs, and I took him in my 3 RB 1, 2, 3. Brees Hall, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs.
That's the tough part about talking fantasy with like people that you're in the same league with, because you get kind of high on these guys, like, dude, I kind of like this guy or whatever, and then they're like, damn, yeah, I might like this guy too, and then they go and they take him when the draft comes, and you're like, fuck, dude.
I mean, I could have won. I could have won him, and I believe James Cook and somebody else was there that I've been looking at. But like, I really really like James Cook, and I really like the other guy too. But like when it comes down to it, Josh Jacobs has had the most rushing yards in the league before, and that was like not long ago. And now he went from one of the worst situations you can be in, that is like been hindering Devontae Adams' performances. If you can hinder Devontae Adams, you can hinder Josh Jacobs. Tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
So now, and he still had 30-point weeks with that team. And I'm like looking at him like, dang, he's putting up like 30s with this bum team, bro. I get he's getting a lot of that work, but like this team is like bad, like not good. And he's going to a really, really, really fun young team. And there's too many avenues for him to do really good this season,
Mm-hmm. I like that pick. I think he is gonna have a good year. With that being said, wide receiver 1 is Brandon Ayuk. Just got paid. Will be playing. No more holding out. Got a little bit less than St. Brown, like slightly less than St. Brown. I think he got like less than $1 million less. It's like in the hundreds of thousands.
It's close.
But anyways, how do you feel about that?
He had 1,300 yards, over 1,300 yards last season. He had, if you want to look at him right now, he had 11 touchdowns last season, or 12.
He had 7.
Or he had 7. Okay, so he had 7 touchdowns, but he had 1,300 yards.
Yep.
It's not like, I don't know. It kind of felt like his breakout year last year, though, to me, because like it wasn't like any years before that he was doing that. You know what I mean? So like I don't see. He got paid. He's playing with the dang near best offense you could probably put together in the league. And I like, what is there not to like about having a piece of that offense? There's a lot of mouths. Guess what? They all get fed because they do the craziest plays and all kinds of stuff. And he gets deep targets too. Like they send him the ball. So I just like his value and his upside. So that was my first wide receiver. He was the best wide receiver left on the board. And I was like, Brandon Ayuk, he's the closest thing to like a true 1 I can get right now. And he had a great coming out season last year. So
I think that after getting paid, he's probably going to get at least a little bit more attention. Debo's got to get extended, so they might be already working in on Ayuk taking over and not really relying on Debo. This San Francisco team's gonna lose some players. You can't pay everybody. I'm sorry, you can't.
Well, guess what? They are. So they still are, and they're insane.
Eventually, when they have to pay Purdy $60 million, some things are definitely going to change in San Fran.
You think that's what he's going to ask for? $60 million?
Reset the market. I mean,
he was. I mean, they were a top team last year. Like
he was in the MVP conversation.
He's in the MVP conversation. There you go. That's what he can use for his case, bro. I'm in MVP conversations, bro. You gonna give me $60 million?
Yeah, The only reason I lost was because Lamar. And I mean, come on.
You're just making excuses for him now.
So
That's
like, and to be fair, I'm not gonna lie. If he didn't have his bad week, like we had like 3 picks like towards the end of the year, he maybe wins, but I don't know.
yeah. My wide
Anyway,
receiver 2 is Zay Flowers. I already know who that
yes.
is.
So
Yeah.
Thursday's gonna be a pretty decently sized game for you. You got 2
That would be a
starters
decent
here.
little. I mean, it is a stack with Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, but I think if you're going for a good wide receiver and you're stacking them with Derrick Henry, it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, I think that doesn't really matter. And Zay Flowers, dude, his rookie, look at his. He had 108 targets last year, and he had 800 something yards. And he had
858, 5 TDs.
he had he had 5 touchdowns with that, and it's like that was rookie. And if you do good as a rookie wide receiver, your sophomore year is usually kind of where you see some good production because your team's like, okay, you can do this. We gave you this much. He caught what? He had 108 targets. He caught like 70 plus of those balls.
Yeah.
So
He racked
77.
in 77 of the 108.
He said 77. Everybody in the podcast knows I just said that.
You need
I'm
dialed
I'm calling all these stats from like my players. I've been looking at these players a little bit. So I'm like, yeah, bro. I don't know, bro. I could. It's Lamar Jackson. Like he doesn't throw like a crap ton of yards, but who he got to throw to? Like Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews are like your only receiving options for Lamar Jackson. So
in. And
they can
Derek
just
even doesn't even do that either. He's not a
doesn't
receiving
even do
type
that.
of
He
guy.
doesn't do that. So it's like,
Same
why
with
not?
McCaffrey.
Like I'm getting their wide receiver 1. You know what I mean? Like you
Mm-hmm.
could say it's Mark, but and wide receivers like it's Zay Flowers. He's probably not. He's not really the deep threat guy you're looking for, but he's definitely the slot guy you're looking for. He has all those cuts in those routes, dude.
And that wide receiver room is kind of weak. And I
He,
mean, if something happens to Mark, it's who's he throwing the ball to? I mean,
who's he throwing the ball to? Zay Flowers. Like who?
yeah.
Like who's he gonna throw the ball to, bro? That's why I picked Zay. I've loved having Zay Flowers. I really wanted Zay Flowers last year, but I'm glad I didn't buy in because the week to week didn't really improve. He's kind of sat around 8 points a week just because he was a rookie and he was just getting put in with this Lamar Jackson who rushes the ball himself team. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think his better weeks were probably when Mark was injured and stuff. But I don't know. I know on this team I don't have a tight end, so that's
Tyler
bad.
Conklin is your tight end.
Which could work out, but it's not like I'm feeling desperate with starting Tyler Conklin at my tight end. You know what I mean? It feels insanely bad to be doing this. Like
I
it's
guess
rough.
your backup is. Oh, what the?
I picked up somebody else because I'm gonna see if this works out as a stretch play, possible 1 player. Say,
Ben Sinnott from the Washington Commanders. I don't know a lot about him. Enlighten me. And what am I missing out on?
Benson, if you go and click on that, it should have a thing saying that he had the most receiving yards and touchdowns on his team in college and stuff. So he's a receiving tight end. He can catch the ball. And they have the only other tight end on that Washington Commanders roster, I think, right now, like of any relevance, is Zach Ertz. 33-year-old Zach Ertz, who they had released like the season before or something or cut him. And that's when we picked him up for the playoffs. I think it was last season.
Mm-hmm.
And they seem to not want to dish him the ball or play him as much. So okay, yeah, they signed him again because maybe they're down to their last option, and he's a guy that they can call on because he's been there for so long and he played with them for a while. But if he's not physically able to play the game in the way that they need him to play the game, who else is Jane Daniels' safety blanket possibly could be? You got Terry McLaurin. You might have Vlad McConkey. At tight end, it's a whole who is it? It could be Ben Sinnott, dude. I'm just gonna see. What happens. I've done this with players before, but when I did it before, I got rid of the players before I actually let them play out. I had Devon A-Chain last year, way before the season started. I was like, I'm picking up this man. He's the fastest dude. He's crazy. And then I'm like, I can't just keep these like strict like point nothing points. And I'm like, I can't just keep guy on my roster. And then they play him, they give him like the ball once, and he goes for like an 80-yard touchdown. And it's like, all right,
And then
he's
I
that
pick him up and win the league with him.
bro. He had like
Oh, he had big
89,
games.
100 attempts last year rushing, but he had like 800 yards on those attempts. He had the most rush yards per carry last year. It was over 100 rushing attempts because he had the most rush yards per carry last year on over 100 attempts by running backs.
Right.
So he was getting like 7-8 yards a carry.
Oh, he was disgusting.
And
team
he
is
had
so
8
explosive.
touchdowns with that. Like he was insane. And then he got injured, which is fine. But like I don't know, dude. I did a team earlier this year, and I drafted Devon Nation as my RB2, and I don't think I care. I don't care. Oh, Monster. Oh, the Tyreek Hill. Oh, I don't care. I don't care at all. This guy doesn't even need 200 carries. This guy needs 100 carries, and he's going to give you, like, just he's got ginormous weeks of explosions in 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdown games on 100-plus yards out of, like, 7 carries. And you're like, huh? What?
Right.
This is like I'm playing, like, on Rookie in Madden. Like, this guy is insane. You just watching him do it was insane, bro.
Yeah.
He just looks so talented, but
And Moser, it's getting older, so I
Yeah.
think it's going to be his time is ticking, and it might be this year is the day. Yeah, he had a great year last year, but before then he was known as kind of a little injury prone back.
yes,
and also he's
yes, he
getting
was
older.
known as injury prone, which I heard is a dumb term, but
Right.
it does seem like certain guys injure and then injure and then injure. You know what I mean?
Well, like
J.K.
Swift for the Lions, I mean that was kinda
J.K.
like,
Dobbins.
yeah. J.K. is bad. I think it's almost worse than what Swift was for us. Type
Yeah.
of thing.
Like,
That
guy is a blazer. Amazing out of the backfield, but he's not on the field, and his legs are completely messed up.
right.
I'd go through the rest of my team, though. My team is terrible, but yeah.
Also, I think Zach Ertz wasn't the Cardinals. I think you screwed that up a little bit. I don't
I
want
probably screwed that up. Yeah.
but it's still fine. Zach Ertz, maybe he didn't make the Lions team off the practice thing, but also to be fair, maybe that was playbook too. I don't know. But at the same time, he's getting older. Maybe he doesn't get as much run. He also
He's
is more
33,
susceptible.
bro. He's 33, and he's not Travis Kelce. I'm sorry. That's the end of his career, bro.
Right.
Like, it might
We'll
be
see.
Ben Sinnott as a rookie. Rookie tight ends are
It's worth a stash. It's
tremendous.
worth a stash.
But it's worth a stash when you don't have a tight end. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like,
Right.
that's what I'm going for with that. So
Or you just, if Ertz is the guy, you just hurry up and try to snag him. If he's, I don't know if he's even on the waiver wire, to be honest with you, but
I don't think he's gonna do anything, bro. I don't think he's
Right.
even there. Like,
we'll see.
fair enough, but
We'll see. I guess looking at the rest of your roster, you have Herbert as your backup quarterback, D-Hop, Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason's another sleeper guy that looked really good throughout the training camp and preseason scene. Ladd McConkey, Terry McLaurin. You have a big opinion on Terry McLaurin. We'll get to that in a second. Sanaa, and then Jalen Warren. So how do you feel about your bench? And then you can go on your. I know you're really high in Terry McLaurin.
I mean, I think my bench is not bad. Like, you can get both D-Hop and Terry McLaurin had over 1,000 yards last year. Terry McLaurin has 1,000 yards. Has had 1,000 yards for the past like 5 seasons or something, and I could see him having more than just 1,000 because that's usually what he's sitting at. Is like he gets to 1,000, not like 11,000 or 1,100 yards or anything like that. He just gets to 1,000 yards usually. But with Jaden Daniels and his possibly good arm talent, you could see Terry McLaurin with no Jahan Dotson do really, really well this year. Now, they do have Luke McCaffrey, who could be playing on the other side, but I don't think rookie Luke McCaffrey is going to take away from if Terry McLaurin's going to have a great season. You know what I mean?
It maybe helps to get less pressure.
Exactly. And then their third guy is Diami Brown. Kudos to you if you know who Diami Brown is. Probably if you are in deeper fantasy leagues, you know who Diami Brown is. But
real deep.
I mean, real deep. But I'm sure, like, if you played for the past couple of years, I think he was. I think in those deep leagues he was somewhat relevant. But I don't know. Like that's just not. He's not going to catch the ball. Like it's going to be Terry McLaurin, and then Terry McLaurin, we know his talent, and we know he can. He's like a DJ Moore. We know he can do more than what he does. But you're limited to Sam Howell, 21 picks to 21 touchdowns. You're
Most
limited
insane
to
thing ever.
yeah, like you're limited to stuff like that. So you're hoping that Jaden Daniels is really going to bring some light to Terry McLaurin's play and just. But I mean, you're getting him so late too for a 1,000 yard receiver. You might as well take him. Like it's guaranteed 1,000 yards. How do you not do it?
Right.
But
Right. Yeah. Squad is give Wes a rating down below or anything like that. Rate the
Jalen
squad.
Warren, I'll give a little bit about Jalen Warren because that's probably a questionable guy for people. Najee Harris had over 1,000 yards last year, and Jalen Warren still had fantasy relevance. Najee Harris could also just be the guy still and just keep running and for a lot of attempts and get like some yards, I guess.
Should
And
kind of hope, to be honest with you, but
I don't know, but I think Jalen Warren looks good too. Like as a change of pace back or something like that, or even like maybe a guy that gets a half workload of work. You know what I mean? That's what you're hoping for with Jalen Warren. Is you see half the carries, half the work, more receptions than Najee Harris, and you can kind of grind that out in PPR, and hopefully has that explosive touch too to get some touchdowns. And they
right.
play call for him. You would think they play call for a guy that's kind of out of people's minds maybe because he's kind of a smaller guy. Oh, he only grabs the ball this, he only touches the ball this much. Oh shoot, we'll throw him on the
And he looked good
outside.
last year. He looked good when he got the ball.
Look good. So it's like, and for a late round RB, there's not much to grab from. Like there's him and the rookie guys that you want to grab for Jordan Mason or Marshawn Lloyd or something like that.
Right. Right. I guess looking at my squadron, my team name, by the way, is Ben's Big Johnson. Just to let everyone know. Repping our OC. But anyways, that being said, I waited on quarterback pretty good. And I think I'm pretty happy about this rebate if things go the way they were last year. Brock Purdy, position ranked 6th last year. He has all the weapons around him, and it's just kind of he's able to give me enough that I was able to wait and get my skill players and still get a solid starting
Quarterback that was in the top 10 last year for fantasy.
Right. And
Now,
hopefully it's a repeat.
with Brock Purdy, all that Brock Purdy is really is a great 49ers O-line, Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, and all of these guys that he gets to just throw his little dips and dots to all down the field.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, now you can say that it takes count on Purdy's side because you need to if you're not accurate with your throws, you guys are gonna catch it. Like even Devontae Adams, if Jimmy Garoppolo's throwing in the stands, Devontae still can't grab that. I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen. So you gotta give him kudos for getting it there, but rushing upside, I don't know any other upside besides their entire offense besides him. I don't know. That it's just him. And Anthony Robinson's great, so he's great.
Yeah.
It's you know what I mean?
I like his rushing upside because of how much command. He's not a very fast guy. He's kind of an elusive guy, and he is a guy who can I think he can read defenses pretty well, and I think that he is able to use that for maybe the lack of insane arm talent or anything like that or great speed. He's able to really put himself in the good spots and read when the field is in a favorable condition for him. And we've seen him run in the NFC Championship game against us, and it was getting quite annoying.
That's true.
So I think he's able to do that in his bag, and for as late as I took him, I'm not mad at it. RB1 is James Cook. I'm buying the James Cook hype. I'm booking it. He's going to have a great year. I'm really excited because if it's not it's gonna be pretty rough probably for me. I
Dude.
don't know. I did buy that, so
The buy on the James Cook RB1 is actually probably one of the riskiest, but also probably one of the best moves you could make. Like, for if you're waiting on that RB a little bit, because you can't wait too long to get James Cook, but if you're waiting until the third round to to touch an RB,
mm-hmm.
and you're like, okay, I probably want a decent guy. Like, he's running back 12 with 2 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
Running back 12. He had like 1,122 yards or something like that. And he had, he was like good. And with an offense that loses Stephon Diggs, that loses Gabe Davis, that loses those guys, like,
Mm-hmm.
where do some of those targets go to Curtis Samuel? Some of them go to Khalil Shakir. Hopefully a lot go to James Cook.
Yeah.
Hopefully a lot of attempts go to James Cook for running. Maybe they switch it up and they try to like actually control the game instead of just like just letting Josh Allen just do whatever the whole time. But you know what I mean? Like at the end of the season, they kind of got away from that, letting Josh Allen just send it as far as you can with Stephon Diggs just cooking somebody down the field.
Mm-hmm.
They went away from that. They went away from Diggs, and they went in a way where like Josh Allen kind of just tosses the ball around, kind of like you're saying with the offense. You know, it's like
Yeah.
you kind of just you feed everybody a little bit. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm interested in the Bills.
Dawson Knox and Kincaid, maybe the more primary weapons. Maybe they're running a little bit more 2 RB systems. So then they're in more run favorable like lineups. I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. I think that overall, and also the team is eat. So like they're gonna score, and I think that this is going to be hopefully a good pick. We'll see. With that being said, you talked a lot about Devon Achane when we were talking about your team, stuff like that. Buying that, I'm hoping that either he gets the brunt of the carries or just overall looks like he did last year. And
You bought in?
Yep, I have Devon Achane as RB2.
So I did that too. I did an RB2 in my other league too. Like you can't do him RB1, right?
Oh no.
But you sure can damn do him RB2. And you in some whatever world, you sure damn can do him at flex as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, like, dude, I mean that's great. Like, it's James Cook, Devon Achane. Like, yeah, I'm fine with that.
I think I got him a little bit better spot than I thought I could. I'm like, he's sitting here, bro. So I think that's kind of what happened. And
You're like,
so I'm like, yeah. Looking at the wideouts, this is when it gets kind of fun. Justin Jefferson falls to me at 7.
Yep,
I get that, and that's in a keeper league. I was really expecting him to go earlier. I did really not expect to get him at 7. And
I would have taken him if I didn't get Brees. That's the only guy I take over Jeff, bro. That's the only guy. I don't even take Bijan over Jeff. I don't think, bro.
That's why. I mean, I don't know. I get St. Brown is a safer pick for Brandon, but I'm not gonna lie. If we're doing keeper, you know what I mean. That's where I think the Jeff pick really is gonna get my rebate. Maybe he's still gonna do good this year, right? I think he's gonna be a top guy.
He's still gonna have 180 targets to his ass. Like it's gonna be great for Jeff.
Well, however many games he missed, but he still went over 1,000 yards. Like he is the best wide receiver in the league. There's no it's fun to poke at Vikings fans and say that St. Brown's better to like poke fun or like to piss them off sometimes on Twitter. But like we both know Jeff is the best guy in the league.
A fire stat for you about Jeff last year. Jeff had the most yards a game out of any season in his career so far last year. So he's only gets better. He started off the best, and then he goes past that, and you're like, okay, I'm here for the ride, and I'm gonna ride smoothly and greatly.
I don't think it matters that Sam Darnold's a quarterback. I think that's actually pretty decent. So
look at Nick Mullins and Josh Dobbs. Go look at what he did. Like they're just throwing the ball, little dinks, and it's just grab, one hand, grab whatever tutty, whatever, dude.
I think that he's gonna get the job done. there's gonna be some frustrating moments where I'm like, man, that could have been a touchdown. Darnold's not gonna make that throw, but I think it's still gonna get.
Or that was like the third touchdown he was gonna have that game. Like,
So I think it's gonna be fine. I think we're gonna be chilling. So, anyways, with that being said, I'm rolling the dice here maybe a little bit, but
dice are going.
Devontae Adams for my wide receiver 2. By the way, years ago, this would just be ridiculous. If that's even, these two being on the same roster would be ridiculous. But
Ridiculous.
with that being said, I'm buying in on the Money Minshew hype. I'm buying in that he's going to be able to sling the ball down the field to him. I liked how Money Minshew was last year with the Colts. I think he did a great job filling in for Anthony Richardson when he was hurt. Made the team competitive, made the team really a fun team to watch. A lot of Indy fans were really excited. And
held up a consistent Michael Pittman from fantasy last year.
Yeah, which is, I mean, Devontae is a Michael Pittman on steroids by like times.
The most steroids you've ever seen, yeah.
Yeah, like the most intense steroids you've ever seen. Ever.
Yeah.
With that being said, I'm buying the Devontae Adams hype. I'm buying the fact that, yeah, you know what? The offense isn't great. Well, someone's got to catch the fucking ball. And I think it's going to be Devontae Adams. You cannot continue to, because also if he's not getting the targets, he's not getting the catches, he's not getting all this stuff, even if they're winning, which I think there's no way those two things happen together. But anyways,
they don't.
Even then, he's gonna want himself to get involved in the offense because he knows how pivotal he can take this team to a next level offensively, even if the offense is maybe doing great with him, maybe not being a insane fantasy option. I think he's going to want a good amount of work. I think he deserves the amount of work, and I think his talent dominates whoever's guarding him.
Yeah.
So, I think now...
And no Jacobs.
Yep. And that's going to be very interesting, too. But, with that, anyways, that's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be in position to throw the football, too. So, I think that Devontae, everything feels great to me. I think that he was a guy that was like, I like him. Maybe I took him a little earlier than I should have, and that's fine because I feel like I did all right in this draft, and I also believe in him pretty hardcore at wide receiver 2. I think it's a very good wide receiver 2 in my opinion.
Yeah.
I waited on tight end. Jake Ferguson of the Cowboys. I think that's
I would have taken that too, bro. I would love to have Jake Ferguson right now.
I watched a lot of guys go off the board. And I really don't feel like going here right now. I want to get some depth here. I want to get this possession, aka whatever. I like these guys right now over any of the tight ends, whatever.
Yeah,
so
and we were right next to each other too with those picks. So it was the same thing for me. You're not picking Njoku in the 7th round when you're staring down Jalen Waddle on the board still. It's like you're not doing.
Right. I think I saw Njoku when I took Ferguson, and I think I like Ferguson more than Njoku. I don't know if I believe in Deshaun Watson to give the ball to Njoku like Joe Flacco did.
Yeah, I don't know. But maybe they scheme it in the offense because they seen how good he did with it last year, though.
I don't even know if he's scheming in the offense. Deshaun Watson can make that fucking throw, to be honest with you. Deshaun looks like shit. Deshaun looks terrible. Ever since he went to Cleveland, ever since all that stuff off the field and that scandal happened, he has not let the same guy in the football field. And I don't know if I want him to return because nothing against Browns fans, but that's what he was convicted of is some pretty messed up stuff. And I don't know if I can support that even a tiny bit. I'm glad that my quarterback did not do that. It'd be a very rough situation to be cheering for someone that maybe did something so messed up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I went with Ferguson because I think that offense, Dak is not going to be sitting out even though he's not got his extension. I think that the Cowboys always kind of are a decent team, and I think that Ferguson was pretty good last year, and hopefully I get a big, maybe he has a big year. And
yeah.
I know they have Schoonmaker, used to be a Michigan tight end, but I don't think that has anything to do with Ferguson's success for fantasy wise.
No, I don't think so either.
Flex, I have Waddle. Now, Waddle and A-Chain maybe wasn't exactly what I would have loved to do before the draft. But I think I love both guys' boom, like their boom, and I think that Waddle, he missed a good amount of time last year and still was able to crack 1,000 yards. And I think that he's still going to be a consistent option, a guy who's not bad at flex and has a ceiling to be a top guy of the week. Like he's a guy who could drop 40 points. I don't think you can get that everywhere, and I think that I took that when I could, and I was really excited about it.
Yep.
And then going to my bench, T. Higgins. I have Chuba Hubbard. I have Trevor Lawrence. I have Adonai Mitchell. David Montgomery. I love that pick. Jameson Williams, JMO. And lastly, I recently just picked him up off waivers, Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill, I'm buying the fact that he was tight end 12 last year. I'm buying the fact that, yes, he has busts, but he has booms. And I'm just going to hope that the 1 week that I play him, he booms. Because I'm probably not going to be playing him a whole lot. Hopefully he has some good stretches and I can maybe even offload him for someone that has a tight end injury. Injuries happen. Someone's going to get hurt and likely at the tight end position. So maybe someone looks for a great value piece for Taysom Hill and I can get a guy that I like. So he was sitting on waivers and I picked him up. And I think I dropped Tyler Boyd, and I really wasn't too high on Tyler Boyd, but I was kind of like, well, that was a late round pick, and when you get 12 team, you get pretty deep on people's rosters.
You get pretty deep.
The bench.
You get pretty deep. So, and the waivers, there's not much there, so I can't say much about you taking Taysom Hill there. So,
right.
I'm going for more of like I need a ceiling play. Like I don't need a 0 for Taysom Hill the week that I'm playing Taysom Hill. Like I can't, because that's what I looked at, and I'm like, that's what he's doing. It's either a 0, it's a 5, or it's a 20, and I can't do that. I need something every time, not a little or nothing. I need something more than that. Right. I'm hoping Conklin with a healthy Aaron Rodgers, please does that, please. Mm-hmm. And then I'm hoping that Benson can emerge as a tight end one for the Washington Commanders and Jaden Daniels.
I think tight end can be kind of a crapshoot sometimes when it's not the elite guys. Like guys like Pat Freiermuth, I do like, but like even without his injury stuff, sometimes tight ends just don't get these certain targets, even if they're pretty skillful. Like, I mean, there's definitely things that you can say like
even if they do get targets, like say you got 2 targets, you caught 2 catches for 10 yards.
Yeah.
Like what is that? That's like 4 points. Like that's nothing.
Right. And tight ends getting TDs, I mean, it's not always, like, besides elite guys, it just doesn't really feel like it's a huge thing. I think Taysom has just so much to him that it's kind of just a fun roll of dice pick, too, and I kind of like it. I'm not afraid of it, I guess. And if it burns me, it burns me. If I have that money week, I'm just going to be ecstatic, and it's going to be great. And the Saints, I think, really like Taysom Hill a ton. Now, is it very weird that sometimes Taysom Hill comes in for quarterback, kind of like when they have Derek Carr, and I understand Derek Carr is not the best, but like running a sometimes 2 QB system in the NFL, that's like college stuff, and even a lot of colleges still don't even really do that a whole lot. So I don't know. Like
it's weird, bro. It's weird. I don't know what they're on over there. The Saints, they're like they love their defense, but they have no idea what even offense is anymore.
I don't know. And I don't think Jamal Williams is gonna get. And also the efficiency that Taysom was at the goal line was really high when he was getting carries. You don't get carries from a tight end except for Taysom Hill. So that's why I went for it. Chuba Hubbard being a starter for the start of the year. See how that goes throughout. T. Higgins, that was the guy that was sitting there. I'm like, I know I need to fit. I was like, I know I need to get a tight end. I know I need to get this up, but I can't not take T. Higgins where he's sitting right now. I know there's maybe concerns that people have about Joe and stuff like that, but if Jamar doesn't play week 1, I'm sorry, he's playing over Waddle. And also, even if Jamar is playing, if an injury happens, I feel fine with T. Higgins. I think he's a guy with Joe that's going to be able to be serviceable at least a flex clip and hopefully a wide receiver 2 clip when I need him. But at the same time, David Montgomery, that's a guy that I was super high on I don't know if it was last podcast or whenever I did my predictions. I think he's going to have a big year. Jameson Williams, I got him for Curtis Samuel. I don't know if that's exactly... I want to know, people, how do you think about that trade?
I don't know if that's... Yeah, well, we'll see if that's value or not, but... I don't know, bro. I look at Curtis's numbers, and I get it was with Sam Howell, but... I don't know.
Right.
Is he, like, at this point in his career, is he, like, really just going to become, like, a wide receiver 1? Like...
No.
You know what I mean? Like, is he going to drop 1,100 yards just because he's with Josh Allen? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe he could. But, like, you would think it'd be split up a little bit between him, Shakir, James
He was losing
Cook gets
targets
a
to
lot.
Dotson.
Huh?
He was losing targets to Dotson.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
Like,
I don't
he's not going to become, like, a 1.
know. I don't know. So
There
I
is
took
no
the risk.
team, so I guess you go with whoever you think the 1 is.
I mean, I think the expectations probably is going to be Coleman, but he's a rookie, so you have to kind of figure that out too.
It's Coleman? Is it really Coleman? You're thinking that Coleman is the best?
You would think. I forgot. Was he drafted first or was it second? I think it was second round.
I think it was 6th round.
But I don't know. Whenever he was still a rather high draft pick, and I think that's at least the expectation for the future. And I don't know if guys like Curtis Samuel and Shakir are gonna be guys that are really gonna be the reason he's not wide receiver 1 for the squad. That doesn't mean that he can be exactly. He's probably gonna struggle. I mean, he looked pretty good in training camp, but at the same time, like, he's gonna have his rookie moments. Christian Watson had his rookie moments with Rodgers, where he just dropped balls that he should not be dropping.
Yeah, just drop, like, open touchdowns, yeah.
Yeah, so, like, there's gonna be moments like that probably, and that's fine. But I just don't think that Curtis Samuel has that ceiling. I mean, JMO, I think it's gonna be fun. I'm buying JMO stock before it happens because I don't know if it works out really well. And JMO is exactly what we saw from the offseason. He looks like a stud. I don't know if I can get that guy. I think a lot of Lions.
Looks like big stud.
Yeah, and being in a Lions fan full league, I'm not getting him, bro. So I went for him early, and I'm going to roll my dice, and I'm going to say that, you know what? If I was wrong, I don't think I paid too bad for being wrong. I'll figure it out. It was a bench piece. But if I'm right, he might be having me be able to offload some wide receivers for some better packages so that I can maybe find a way to play him. So, or I just play him over other players too. I don't know. But we will see.
We'll see.
But yeah, I had Jake Moody as my kicker. I went that for both my leagues. Money Moody.
Money Moody was nice last year, bro. He's consistent. And he got that 49ers sweet offense where you just score a bunch.
And he's got a big leg, so I like it. And I think he's going to have his sophomore year under him. Or, I mean, his rookie year, he's going to be a sophomore type of player, and I think he's going to be able to be more comfortable and get a little bit more kicking under him at the NFL level too.
Yeah.
Anyways, comment below which roster you like better, which roster, also what do you think about the rosters overall. Let us know.
Just let us know.
We're going to be definitely talking about a little bit more stuff. Maybe we'll break down next podcast after we talk about, we'll probably do like predictions for kind of what we did with these games, but for the rest of the games coming forward. And then we'll probably do more specific on the Lions stuff. And then maybe we'll talk about our fantasy opponents.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that, yeah.
That'd be fun. I'm not going to lie. I think next year I really want to do this. This is an idea I've been thinking about. Of like, we're doing a league. Maybe we'll make another redraft league or something. Or make a dynasty league. And we make it. And it's all basically content based. So basically what I'll say is this. We'll have the draft and we'll make a video of the draft And then what we'll do is we'll have every person make a video announcing their first round pick. We won't do all the other ones because that'd be redundant and a lot. And I don't want to have a lot of members doing that. And then what we'll do is we'll have after the draft. Okay, how are we feeling about our team moment? And then throughout the year, when trades are going on, we'll be like, hey, if you're doing something, if you're like on the phone or something with someone, see if you can record it, something like that, and make it feel like its own league type of thing. I think that'd be really, really cool.
I got you.
And have have viewers be the ones following it a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it's a dumb idea. Maybe we wouldn't like it. I thought it'd be really cool. I think it'd be something cool, and we could have like breakdown things, treating it almost like an ESPN thing of breaking down each week's matchup. I don't know.
I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean, yeah.
I think that'd be really creative and it'd be really, really fun. But I think it was too late this year, and also I don't know if a keeper league is exactly the way we should be going with it. I think it'd probably be better if it's Dynasty.
Yeah.
But
we would actually have like enough leagues where I don't have to make like extra bullshit leagues that I'm in a random league.
Right. I think, or maybe it wouldn't have to be Dynasty. Maybe it could be a redraft, and it's it's just each year is a different season of the type of way we do that. I don't know. I think it'd be really a fun idea. I think it'd have a lot of potential for long form and short form content.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But, anyways, I think. Do you have anything you want to add about this pod before we see everyone Friday, Saturday, whenever that ends up getting posted next time?
Yeah, no, I'm all good. I think we're ready to go. Fantasy teams are set. Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers. Let's go, baby.
I'm excited for football being back.
That's tomorrow night, right?
Yep. This video will probably be posted Thursday, so we're recording on a Wednesday. So with that being said, today will be the Ravens or Chiefs, and it'll be super fun. We'll both be watching it for sure, and it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
All right. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for sticking with us through this podcast. Let us know, like I said, about the fantasy rosters. And, yeah, let us know about what your predictions are for the Packers and the Chiefs game if you see this podcast before the game. With that being said, guys, have a great day. Stay safe. Enjoy life. And we will both see you in the next podcast episode of us, which will hopefully be Friday or Saturday. Peace.